My console days are now pretty much behind me, and I've been a passionate PlayStation player for so many years, but now my main gaming machine is a PC. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly why I finally made the switch, the pros and cons to both having a PC or a console, and whether I think you should consider upgrading to a PC. So for basically my whole life, I've been blissfully playing games on console, thinking that this is as good as gaming really gets. Frame rates didn't really mean much to me because I'd never known anything different, and I thought that consoles actually offer pretty good customizability for your gaming experience. And then the PlayStation 5 came out and I upgraded to play at 120 Hz, which the first game I tried with was Call of Duty Warzone. This suddenly lit a fire inside me. I couldn't believe how doubling the frame rate from 60 Hz to 120 Hz changed my gaming experience. And that suddenly left me craving more than that 120 Hz. And that's when I started to look into, okay, what do PCs offer? And also, what else was I missing out on by potentially being locked in at whatever the developers put you on or Sony put you on having a console? So following endless research, it turned out that my hunches were pretty much correct in that on PC, more or less everything is customizable when comparing it with console. So if you want to experience a game with maximum graphics, that's absolutely fine. If you've got the hardware to do it, you can pump those graphic settings up to the highest so you get the best graphical fidelity. If you want lower graphics to boost up that frame rate, then again, that's something that PC allows you to do. Whereas if you sat on console and you wanted to, let's say, reduce your graphic settings to maybe get a consistent 120 Hz, you can't do that. There's no profiles or there's no settings that allow you to tinker around with your graphics to push out higher frame rates. And also, there's the lack of hardware choices on console. So that could be your headsets, your controllers, audio setups, and that's even like mouse and controller. There's not as many options, and what options there are quite limited. The other plus point for a PC as well is the practicality. Now, I still need a PC for stuff, and that could be video editing, productivity tasks like Word documents, all those sorts of things. A PC obviously will bring both those together, and you've got one machine for both your gaming needs, but also any other needs that you have as well from a productivity point of view. And then you've got to look at the game choice that you get on PC. So with applications like Steam, Epic Games, there are a huge variety of games that the PlayStation Store, for example, just doesn't offer. And what you find with Steam and Epic Games is that they're constantly competing with each other to try and get you the best deals. So generally the pricing's a lot better on PC. And that just follows on as well to the fact that playing online multiplayer games on PC is completely free. There's no monthly charge for the privilege of actually just playing multiplayer online. Whereas Sony, Xbox, all those, you have to pay a monthly or annual premium for the privilege of being able to do that. And obviously, if you want to create content, record content, all that sort of stuff, again, you are limited on console to what you can record in terms of the quality, whereas on PC, you get complete freedom to either record in 720p, 4K, whatever you want to do. It's completely up to you with how you do that on PC. And also, if you're recording content directly on your PC, it's there immediately available just for you to put in an editor, or if you wanted to live stream even, it's there straight away and you don't even have to mess around. Whereas on console, you do have to transfer over to PC to then start editing it. The other main thing to consider as well is that what I believe, since having a PC, is that the long-term value you get for owning a PC over a console is a lot better. And this is because with consoles, you're stuck in the 5 to 10 year cycle that they often do it in, where they won't refresh the hardware for at least 7 years, I'd say usually, and therefore you're stuck with the same CPU, the same GPU, same hardware. And as games advance throughout that time, there's no way of upgrading your machine to improve your experience until the next one comes out. Whereas that is the complete opposite with PC. You get the option of upgrading whenever you want with so many options, whether that's your GPU, your CPU, your RAM. There's so much more available on PC to customize so you can really get that experience you want as a gamer. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that PCs are all perfect, because they're not, and there are some downsides that I have found personally by switching mainly to the PC now. And the first one to obviously look at is going to be the cost. So when you're looking at a console versus a PC, to get the equivalent performance on a PC, you are going to be paying more. That's just the end of the story. But you could argue that's because a PC does a lot more than a console as well. But in summary, the initial outlay is going to be more than a console. There's also a hell of a lot of updates to do. So whether that's your drivers, system tweaks, optimizations, you feel like you're often updating things all the time, and that could be your Windows updates, it could be your graphics driver updates, and even in-gaming updates. You combine those all together, it can cost you quite a bit of time. Whereas on console, generally there's 1 or 2 updates a month that come in for the system, and then you've just got the game updates. But you never really feel like you have to be manually doing stuff with console, it's just kind of done for you. You also have to consider as well that there may be extra gear that you need for PC. So for example, if you buy a PC that perhaps outputs 180 frames, you're going to want to get a monitor that you can actually see visible on the screen 180 frames as well. And currently you might have a monitor only up to 120 or even a 60 hertz one. So if you are going to upgrade to a PC, you have got to consider, if you're going to be able to push your frame rates higher, then you're going to want to buy a new monitor as well at some point, where you can actually see those frames. There are other examples to use, but that is one of the main ones and probably one of the bigger outlays that you may have to consider if you do want to get a PC. And then the final one is that the stability of consoles is just better than PCs at the end of the day. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Consoles are a hell of a lot more stable because you get 1 or 2 updates a month from Sony, Xbox, whoever it may be. I've rarely experienced any bad updates, whereas on PC, it could be your graphics drivers that you update, and that could make the game that you're playing currently worse. You could update Windows 11 and they've got a bug that hampers your performance, so you have to roll things back. And there's just a lot of weird issues you can get on PC. But also there's so much more you can try and do to optimize stuff. So in summary, like PCs, they're going to take you a lot more time to basically start playing a game, because of all the optimizations, the setting up of drivers and all those sorts of things that you need to consider before, whereas a console, you can just turn it on and off you go. So the main question is, would I ever go back to console after experiencing both consoles and PCs? And the answer is honestly no. Unless there's a super specific exclusive game that you have to play on console, PC for me beats console in every way possible. Apart from the time maybe that it takes to get used to a PC, set it up, do all your updates, make sure you got the right drivers and all that sort of stuff. I think for me, the only issue I have with PC gaming is that obviously PCs are a lot more complex, but I think you would probably know that before even watching this video. So in conclusion then, should you switch? Now, if you've got the money and the patience to learn about PCs, I would highly recommend that you switch to PC if having the best gaming experience, the most customizable gaming experience, and the better frame rates is the most important thing to you. If you just want plug and play and stability, and you don't have to worry about optimizing things and rolling back drivers if there's a problem, then obviously console is the best one to go with. And that also includes if you want to maybe sit on the sofa and play your games instead. Unless you're in that camp, PC is going to be the platform that you will not regret moving to. And I can say that as first-hand experience from now experiencing both of them. Guys, if you've already made the switch or considering it, drop a comment below and let me know. I'm really interested to hearing your thoughts and your stories on this. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and also just so that you know, I do live stream as well, so please pop into a stream and say hi, and we can carry on the discussion over in a live stream.